I've been building my own kingdom for everyone to see. It exists to keep me safe from harm, and it's intact to glorify me. Nobody helped me build this up. It was me and me alone. I've appointed myself as the king, and I've given myself the throne. But it turns out I'm no ruler, and I have no control. So I have decided to destroy it all. I'm tearing down the walls, kicking down the doors. Everything inside this kingdom is yours. 'Cause what I've made is worthless, and it cannot stand. Come and breathe some life into my empty, cold, dead end. Down with the fickle king, away with this fantasy. You are the one I need. Death to the kingdom of me. Death to the kingdom of me. I should probably be frightened. This empire's all I know, but it always does more damage than good. I'm afraid it's gotta go. I know that I can't be trusted, 'cause I'm just a man. And if you hadn't given your life for me, a loser would be all that I am. You know they say just follow your heart. I'm afraid that's a load of trash. Your heart will take you down to deep, dark places where you feel like you'll never come back. So I'm coming out of the dark. This facade is... I woke up feeling like it was time to tighten up. Yeah, I woke up feeling like it might be a good day to get it done. That's right. Oh, the stadium is just like my second house. Now I'm two-tone talking, they can't shut my mouth. I woke up feeling like it was time to tighten up. Yeah, 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 yeah. I woke up feeling like it was time to tighten up. Oh, goodness gracious. Can you believe it? It is the 100th episode of the Two-Tone Talk by God pod. Oh my goodness, could it be a more perfect time for the 100th episode? It is Friday afternoon, September the 6th, and in 2 short days, the Tennessee Titans will take the field to start their 2024 season against the Chicago Bears. We are going to talk about that game in depth here shortly, but I want to welcome everyone to the Two-Tone Talk podcast on what will be perhaps our most exciting episode of the year so far, because we have got Titans-Bears preview. We have got the first 32-1 power rankings here today. We have got the first week of game picks coming at the end of the episode. And we have got a little reflection on the game last night, the first game of the season between the Ravens and the Chiefs. And that's how I want to start the episode today is by briefly talking about the Ravens and the Chiefs last night. And I want to start by briefly talking about the Derrick Henry element of it, because this is a Titans podcast, and that was the most relevant part of all of this for us last night was Derrick. We all wondered what it would be like to see him with them, our guy with another team. It is like when you are wondering what it's going to be like to see your ex with a new person for the first time. Well, we saw it last night, and I will tell you, I've said it before, Derrick is one of my favorite Titans of all time. I love Derrick. I respect Derrick. I have nothing but love and admiration for Derrick Henry. But last night, I didn't have one problem. It didn't make me upset. Didn't make me want to long for Derrick Henry to come back to Nashville, all due respect. Last night did not really faze me. Derrick Henry, it was plain and obvious the Titans were going in a new direction this offseason. It was plain and obvious that the Titans were looking for a new identity, a complete shift in maybe culture, just the perception of the team. They had to let Derrick Henry go. Had to. You can't get a new identity while keeping your old identity around. You can't do it. You can't say we're going to be a new team while keeping the guy around that has been the very identity of the team for the last 5 or 6 years. You can't do it. We knew that. Not to mention, he's getting older. He has lost a step, and Derrick said that after the Jaguars game that closed the season last year. He had that long run. He said in the post game, he said, a few years ago, that would have been a touchdown. This year, they caught me at the 5. So even Derrick said he has lost a step. Derrick is getting older. He cannot, carry the ball 40 times a game like he used to and go for those 99-yard touchdown runs, right? It was time to move on. And last night, to me, just confirmed what I was already feeling. It was the right move. Derrick, I know he had the touchdown on the opening drive, and that was what it was, but he finished with 13 carries for 46 yards. And that's not even a knock on him. It's the fact that last night, it's a long season. This was just the first game, but the Ravens are trying to find a spot for Derrick Henry in that offense. They're trying to find a way to make him a part of what they're doing. And it looks an awful lot like the Todd by God Downting-led Tennessee Titans from a couple of years ago. Just trying desperately to figure out what to do with this guy. That's what it looked like last night. Now, I do think the Ravens offense was better when he was out there, and he needs to be in there more, because at least when he's in there, the defense has to account for him. They have to account for where he is because he's so big and strong, and that allows Lamar to get over 100 yards rushing like he did last night. It certainly brings the play-action game to life for Baltimore. But, so, I don't know if that's what Ravens fans were expecting, was for Derrick Henry to come in and be a decoy so that Lamar can have more rushing yards. But that's certainly what it was last night. Derrick Henry, we know what he does. We know what he is good at. He is good at wearing you down over the course of a game. You give him the ball over and over and over and over again, and by the time you get to the fourth quarter, he breaks a long one and takes the game over. He can't do that if he's only getting 13 carries. But if you're going to give him more than that, Lamar's got to get his carries too. You got to throw the ball, right? So you have all of those different elements at play, and that's why I think Derrick Henry in Baltimore is going to be quite the experiment, because what Derrick is best at is wearing you down over the course of a game, which means he's going to have to get more carries than he did last night. But are the Ravens going to be as stubborn as Mike Vrabel and Todd Downing used to be? And even Tim Kelly last year, where they would just give Derrick Henry the ball even when it wasn't working? Is John Harbaugh and company going to do that? I bet not. If Derrick Henry's not breaking long runs, they're going to go to Justice Hill. They're going to let Lamar run. They're going to try to throw. It makes me wonder if the Ravens would have been better off pursuing somebody for the outside. Somebody, a wide receiver this offseason, because while Zay Flowers is good, it sure looks like the Ravens could use more weapons on the outside, but instead they have Derrick Henry, who they're trying to figure out how to work in. And John Harbaugh's a great coach. They might figure it out at some point. But for last night, it looked like they did not know what to do with him. And like I said, it's just one game. They've got plenty of time left to figure it out, but it's going to be interesting because, not to mention, Baltimore runs most of their offense in a way that Tennessee didn't. Baltimore does not run a whole lot of just turnaround handoff. They put Lamar in the shotgun, and Derrick, I think Derrick was splitting the snaps with Justice Hill last night. And so, yeah, 13 carries. That's not what Derrick Henry is good at. Derrick Henry needs like 25 carries. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be an interesting experiment. But from the Tennessee Titans element, last night just confirmed what I already knew, and that is the Titans made the right move. And it's not a knock on Derrick, but you can't cling to the old while trying to usher in the new. You can't do it. Bringing in Calvin Ridley and L'Jarius Sneed and all those guys, it would ring hollow if you just kept Derrick there and his face was everywhere. And so for all of the people who have said, oh, the Titans are idiots for letting Derrick Henry go, first of all, those same people would not be picking the Titans to win one more game if Derrick had stayed. And second of all, I think last night those people proved to just be misinformed and bozos. Yes, I'm using the term bozos on the 100th episode today. Like, everybody just was like, oh, Derrick Henry, he's the only guy we know on the Titans, so surely without him, they're just idiots. Not knowing that the reason Derrick had so much success is because we just kept giving him the dang ball over and over and over. And he kept, that was Vrabel's thing. We're going to keep running Derrick, and we're going to play good enough defense to keep us in the game. That's what the Titans did. That's why it was so boring, and it's why the offense has been so bad. I had a buddy last night that said, why'd you guys get rid of Derrick Henry? I said, because we sucked with him. The last 2 years, our offense was unwatchable. Of course we got rid of him. I'd say got rid of him. His contract was up. It was a mutual parting. We didn't get rid of him, nor did he just hate us and want to move on. He was a class act when he left, but it was just time to go different ways. And everybody thought Baltimore was a great fit, but after last night, I'm not so sure Baltimore was a great fit for him. I thought Baltimore was a great fit for him. I'm not abandoning that philosophy yet, but after last night, I'm skeptical. Other things in that game, I have to question some of the officiating. Baltimore, I don't know what was going on. They kept calling them for illegal formation. I know what the refs were trying to say was going on, but there were some points, and far be it from me to defend the Ravens, but there were some points in that game where I was like, what? Like, just, wow. And definitely, if you're one of these people who believes that the Chiefs definitely get some home cooking from the officiating, last night probably didn't change your mind a whole lot because, I mean, the right tackle for the Chiefs was jumping all night long. Like, sometimes a full second before the rest of the offensive line, he was already like, I don't know how that was not only missed, but it was missed multiple times. There is a rule in the NFL that says only the head coach can call timeouts. But last night, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs called a timeout, and the refs just let it happen. Stuff like that. What are we doing? What are we doing? There is a belief out there that the Chiefs get a little bit of home cooking when it comes to the officiating, and last night felt like there was some of that going on. I briefly want to say this. There is a group of people out there who believe that Lamar Jackson, they always say that Lamar Jackson is not that great of a passer of the football. Those people are probably having a field day today after his performance last night. Because Lamar's a great player. Lamar is a tremendous athlete. He missed some big throws last night, and it cost his team. I understand on the last play of the game. I mean, what an ending, by the way. The guy's toe comes down out of bounds. You got Harbaugh wanting to go for two, and then you find out it didn't count. I mean, just what a start to the year. But the play before that, Zay Flowers could not have been more wide open in the end zone. He was standing all alone, and Lamar missed him. And the play before that, he had Isaiah Likely, who I think is going to be his favorite target probably this year. He had Isaiah Likely open in the end zone. Missed him. 2 touchdowns he missed on before that final play. And he missed on some other throws last night, too. Lamar Jackson is a phenomenal athlete, and he obviously had over 100 yards rushing. But isn't that kind of the story of Lamar's career? He can run that ball. He's fast, he's quick, he's smaller now, so he looks even faster, even harder to catch, even harder to tackle. He had over 100 yards rushing, but throwing the ball, he missed some major, crucial passes that I guarantee you Mahomes wasn't going to miss. I know Mahomes had an interception last night, but Patrick Mahomes repeatedly shows why he is on a different level than everybody else. And he did it again last night. And Buffalo, I hope you eat your heart out as you sit at home watching Xavier Worthy run all over the field for Kansas City because you let it happen. You needed a wide receiver, and you let the Chiefs get Xavier Worthy, your biggest rival, the team that you can't ever seem to beat. You let them get Xavier Worthy, and now you live with the consequences, and so do the rest of us. So thank you, Buffalo. Way to be. The Chiefs beat the Ravens 27-20. Welcome back, NFL. What an exciting first game down to literally the last moment, and the Ravens lose by a toe. Literally by a toe. Great game last night. Tonight, we've got the Packers and the Eagles. We will make picks for that here in a little bit, but let's talk Titans-Bears. This Sunday, season opener for the Titans. What do the Titans need to do to win this game? Well, it's going to be rowdy. In Chicago, that city's excited. They're excited about Caleb Williams. They're excited about all the talent that Chicago's brought in on both sides of the ball. They're excited. Okay, they're hoping that this is the beginning of the Bears becoming the Bears again. So the fans are going to be loud. Will Levis, this to me, I know Will started in 8 games last year. This feels like Levis's first time as like, hey, you're the guy. Because last year it still felt like you were kind of like half the guy. It was like, we're just trying to get through this to get to next year. But this is his first time taking the field as, okay, you're the dude. You're the guy we're hoping is the future of this organization. How does he respond to that pressure? How does he respond to the crowd? How does he respond to all of the newness around him? Preseason's one thing. Training camp is one thing. This is the real deal on Sunday. He's going to need Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears to give him some help back there. He's going to need some help from the run game. I also wonder about our offensive line. Hey, they're young. They are young. J.C. Latham's a rookie. Peter Skoronski's a second-year guy. Even Dylan Radins. I mean, he's got such little experience in actual. I know he has played. He has started at numerous positions for the Titans before. But kind of like Will Levis, he's never been the guy. Dylan Radins has never been like, hey, you are starter for us through and through. Nicholas Petit-Frere really didn't play any meaningful football last year for the Titans. So the offensive line, especially with the defensive front, that Chicago has, that's a concern. How are they going to hold up, especially with the noise? The way you get into this game, you got to have that run game going. You got to be getting some success with Pollard and Spears running the ball. You got to be getting some success there just to ease into this game. That's why I absolutely hope that the Bears get the ball first. Because if the Titans get the ball first in this game, I feel like it's going to be a tough drive because that stadium's going to be rocking. And that offensive line, surely they're going to be a little nervous because they're young. Will Levis, got to get those butterflies out of the way. And just a lot of new pieces. I mean, I've said it before. I have no idea what to expect on Sunday from the Titans. I have no clue. I mean, so many new faces on the sideline and on the field, on both sides of the ball. I have no idea what it's going to be. There's going to be some growing pains, but the Titans have they've got to play it a little bit boring. I mean, I think the new Titans that we're hoping to see with an exciting push the ball down the field offense might have to wait until week 2 against the Jets. I will be at that game, by the way, if anybody's going to the home opener. See you there. Might want to save all of that for week 2. I think the objective week 1, let's slow this game down. Let's try our best to keep Caleb Williams and company off the field as long as we can, because defensively, lots of new faces there too. Secondary wise, Sneed, Awuzie, new. Quandre Diggs, new. Jamal Adams, is he even going to play? What the heck's going on with him? Okay, you've got Ernest Jones, new. You've got Kenneth Murray, new. Tavondre Sweat, rookie. Welcome to the NFL, bud. Go time now. You've got some edge rush guys behind Landry and Key, and Arden Key's going to have to be better than he's been. Caleb Murphy, Ali Gay, Jalen Harrell. Welcome to the season, guys. You're going to have to be better than you are. Okay, like you have to start with a bang. This ain't preseason, this ain't training camp. So, I am curious defensively. I think it's going to take the defense a little longer to get into this game than the offense, because Caleb Williams, he's a rookie. He's going to be feeling it. I mean, obviously, he's a mobile guy. He's going to be able to escape the pocket. He's going to be able to create on the fly. He's going to be able to run around and extend plays. Here's what I'm most excited about that I don't think people, judging by what we're seeing, are ready for from the Titans defense, is how aggressive Denard Wilson is going to be with his blitzes. I think this guy, going against a rookie quarterback week 1, I think Denard Wilson is going to try to absolutely send the house. Send the house on this guy. I think you are going to see Kenneth Murray blitzing like a madman. I think you are going to see Ernest Jones blitzing like a madman. If Jamal Adams plays, you're going to see him blitzing like crazy. Denard Wilson is going to be aggressive, and he needs to be. I know it's Caleb Williams, and we're already crowning him king, but this is a rookie quarterback. You need to get in his face immediately, okay? That's what's going to happen defensively, and rely on Sneed, rely on Awuzie and McCreary and Hooker and those guys in the secondary to play it up and send guys. And I'm excited to see Tavondre Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons is going to be a game wrecker. He's the most experienced guy on the defense other than maybe Amani Hooker. He's going to have, well, I mean, I know Quandre Diggs, but I'm talking about on this defense. With the Tennessee Titans, Jeffrey Simmons is the leader out there. He's going to have to absolutely wreck this thing. Do not let Caleb Williams come out there and get comfortable right off the bat. I want to see a blitz in his face first play. First offensive play for the Bears. I want to see Denard Wilson sending the house. Did you see this clip of Adam Schefter? And I love Adam Schefter, but Adam Schefter's like, good for Chicago. They're not playing a team that's going to blitz a whole lot. Do you see what I'm talking about? All these clips that I do of the national media talking about the Titans. They know nothing about the Titans. Denard Wilson, I think, is going to be blitzing like crazy, and he needs to. You need to get in Caleb Williams' face. And blitzing is going to be something the Titans have to do all year, because edge rush is a position of major concern. Okay, major concern for the Titans outside of Landry. Okay. So you got to get in Caleb Williams' face. You got to blitz him. Do not let him get comfortable back there, because that crowd's going to be going nuts for him. Offensively, I don't know what the situation is with DeAndre Hopkins. I have no idea. Some people are saying that he's got MCL tear. He's probably not going to play Sunday because they don't want to rush him back. That's probably the smart thing to do. But all the reports coming from Titans practice are that he looks fine, that he looks like his normal self, and that he's talking like he's going to play. I mean, of all things, we are relying on injury reports from Taylor Lewan and Will Compton. As far as where we stand with Diop, I don't know. I guess we'll find out today, right? Don't they have to put out designations today? So we will find out today if DeAndre Hopkins is a go for this weekend against Chicago. It may be the smart thing to let him rest if he's got an injury that has a risk of being a major one. And you know what? You've got Ridley, you've got Boyd, Traylon Burks. This year is your chance, bud. This is kind of it for you. If you don't make it happen this year, this may be it. Nick Westbrook-Akine, we know he's reliable too. So we will see. If Hopkins can't go, maybe the Titans call up a receiver for the practice squad. I'm not sure. Jamal Adams, Evan says in the chat, has been ruled out for the game on Sunday. I can't say I'm surprised, because he's literally not practiced in weeks. what the heck's going on with the guy. I'm checking Twitter right now. Jamal Adams and Otis Reese. This is official from Jim Wyatt 1 minute ago. Jamal Adams and Otis Reese out. So DeAndre Hopkins not ruled out. Not ruled out. So he's probably going to be questionable. They're probably going to take that up to the last minute. He's probably, I would imagine, D-Hop will be listed as questionable. But he is officially not out. So, Titans got a blitz on defense. Got to make sure Caleb Williams feels like a rookie. Make this dude feel like a rookie, okay? And make him miserable in his first game. Offensively, just as the Eagles used to say, not the team the Eagles, but the band the Eagles, take it easy. That's what Titans need to do offensively. Don't throw the kitchen sink at them week 1 on the road in that hostile atmosphere with all these new faces. Let's try and slow this game down. I know people don't want to hear that because they're like, this is the new Titans, the exciting Titans. Maybe save that for the Jets week 2. Maybe week 1 on the road. Just try to get a win, and let's just Pollard and Spears it a little bit. Play action. Maybe don't try to conquer the world week 1. It is time now for the first edition this year of the two-tone power rankings. 32-1. All the way. And this is going to be the hardest one of the year because only 2 teams have played. So, going into the season, this is how I see it. I'm going to do this every single Friday, every single week, from 32-1. And let's see if we can tick anybody off with these power rankings. We start with the bottom 3, the infamous bottom 3, the 3 worst teams in the league, in my opinion, going into this season. And at number 32, dead last, I'm giving it to the New England Patriots. I think the Patriots, I just don't see anything from them that has me jumping for joy. They've got Jacoby Brissett starting, not a lot of talent that excites me anywhere on the field. Even when they eventually go to Drake May, I'm not high on Drake May. I was not high on him coming out of college in the draft. And I'm not really high on their new coach, Gerard Mayo. I just think it's going to be a tough year for the Patriots, especially in that division. I've got them at 32. At 31, also in the bottom 3, I'm giving that to the New York Giants. I think the Giants are going to be bad too. They're in a bad situation with Daniel Jones. He is not very good. And, other than Malik Neighbors, it just feels like, especially with losing Saquon Barkley, they've got a lot of rebuilding to do on that team. And they're in a division that could be tough as well. The last team rounding out the bottom 3 is the Carolina Panthers, who I do think are going to be better. I think the Panthers are going to be better. Everybody be sure to click the like button if you're watching on YouTube, by the way. The Panthers are going to be better, but still, I think there's so much rebuilding to do there. They need to see if what they have in Bryce Young this year. I think they'll end up being a 5 or 6 win team. But for right now, I've still got them as one of the 3 worst. Let's get into the 20s of this here 32-1 power rankings. At 29, I got the Saints. At 29, I've got the Saints, if I can talk. I'm not very excited about them either. I think eventually you're going to be looking at Spencer Rattler getting the call there at some point this year. Just Derrick Carr, not a lot of Saints fans excited about Derek Carr, and a lot of people suspect that Dennis Allen, the head coach, might get fired this year. Number 28, the Denver Broncos. Bo Nix looked good in the preseason, but as I said a little bit ago, this is not the preseason. Bo Nix is going to have to be good with not too much elite talent around him, and they're in a division with the Chiefs, by the way, who we all expect will be very good, as we saw last night. So I've got the Broncos at 28. Number 27, staying in the AFC West with the Raiders. I think the Raiders, Minshew magic. I think the Raiders are that team. I said it the other day on a video on the channel. They're just there. They're just there. I don't think they're going to be bad. I don't think they're going to be horrible, but they're just kind of, they're not great either. I think they're destined to be a 6-11, 7-10, even though they have Devontae Adams, even though I'm all about Brock Bowers, who they picked. I like that pick, but I just think right now I got them at the bottom. Number 26, the Arizona Cardinals. They got to figure out what they've got with Kyler Murray this year. They've got Marvin Harrison coming in, and listen, I'm big on Marvin Harrison. I think he's going to be a superstar. So maybe with him being there, you can see what you've got with Kyler Murray. And I think Arizona could potentially be a frisky team this year if Murray can get back to playing like we've seen him play at times in the past, and if Marvin Harrison is as good as people think he's going to be. At 25, I've got the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers, I don't even know who's starting for them Sunday because Russell Wilson was named the starter. Now he's got an injury, so who knows? The Steelers just kind of feel like they're in disarray already. They've got George Pickens, not too deep of a receiving core after Pickens. So, and the quarterback position, no matter who they go with, feels up in the air at best. Mike Tomlin's a great coach, but I think it might be tough sledding for the Steelers at the start. Number 24, how about the Minnesota Vikings? I know they got Justin Jefferson, one of the very best, but Sam Darnold's the quarterback. They're in what may be the best division in the NFL this year in the NFC North. I feel bad because they have that great receiver, and Jordan Addison, whenever he comes back too, is a good number 2. The Vikings were just a playoff team a couple of years ago, but with the quarterback situation there being what it is, it's hard to get too excited. Number 23, the Washington Commanders. The Commanders have potential to be a very frisky team, but like with Caleb Williams and all the other rookie quarterbacks, I think it'll take Jaden Daniels a little bit to get his groove. As he kind of gets in there, I hope he can stay healthy because he does run around a lot. Terry McLaurin, Dan Quinn, they're kind of on the rebuild. I think over time the Commanders will just get better and better. But to start, I've got them at 23. Number 22, the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks, I think they're going to be gritty. I think they're going to be tough. They're going to play good defense. It's going to be hard to score points on them. It's just they feel like a middle of the pack, or maybe just under middle of the pack team to me, with Geno, new coach in Mike McDonald. They've got talent there, but it just feels like in that division they're going to be overshadowed by the Niners and the Rams. Number 21, our friends in Indianapolis. I've got the Colts. I know everybody's like, the Colts, they're a top 5 team based on hopes and dreams. Come on, everybody. Hope and dreams. The Indianapolis Colts, Anthony Richardson is a question mark at best. Jonathan Taylor hasn't done anything relevant in 3 years. They have no good receivers outside of Michael Pittman Jr. Their secondary is incredibly young. They've got lots of other question marks on defense. The strength of the team is their offensive line, but they couldn't protect Anthony Richardson last year, so I have no reason to believe that they will again. I've got the Colts at number 21. At number 20, I've got the home team, the good guys, the Tennessee Titans. The Titans at number 20, just a lot of unknowns. I've got them ranked higher than a lot of people do. A lot of people have them somewhere from 24 to 26. I've got them at 20, rounding out the 20s. Listen, it's all on Will Levis, as I've said. If Levis is good, they can be quite good. If he's not good, they can be quite bad. Lots of new faces. Not sure what Brian Callahan's going to do as a head coach. I feel good about it. I'm encouraged about it, but we got to see it now. It's time to see it. Stop talking about it. It's time to go do it. So we'll see, but obviously, you know, in my heart, they're number 1. Number 19, I put the Jaguars ahead of the Titans just for the simple fact that you can't call me a Titans homer, because I got the Jags above the Titans. The only reason I have the Jags above the Titans, Trevor Lawrence, as inconsistent as he is, at this point right now, he is more of a sure thing than Will Levis. Just because we've seen him. He's been doing this for years. You know what you get with Trevor Lawrence. You get a good quarterback. Will Levis, we're not sure. So because of they have slightly more certainty at the quarterback position than the Titans do, I put the Jags at 19. I put the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 18. They got a lot of veteran players. I think they're going to have to deal with injuries at some point. I think the Bucs are not going to have quite the success they had last year because the Falcons are going to kind of run that division, I feel like, and the Bucs are, you know, they kind of won it by default last year. I don't think that I think the what's the analogy? The Cinderella is going to turn back into a pumpkin or whatever. I think that the time's up for the Bucs. 17, Chargers. I think the Chargers are going to be tough. I think similar to the Seahawks, they're going to have a good defense. I think Harbaugh, this is going to be a foundational year for him, kind of establishing his culture. They don't have elite weapons on the outside, but they do have Justin Herbert. Maybe he can elevate them. But ultimately, I think the Chargers are just going to be gritty, tough, and this is going to be a foundational year for them. At 16, I've got the Cleveland Browns. Right now, I've got the Browns as the definition of a middle-of-the-pack team. Their defense was obviously maybe the best in the league last year. Deshaun Watson, I'm just not high on him at all. I'm not a big believer in him. I know there's potential with that receiving tandem of Amari Cooper and Jerry Jeudy, but Jerry Jeudy couldn't make it work when he was in Denver with all of the potential. Everybody was always waiting on him to break out, and he never did. I don't expect him to in Cleveland either. I think Cleveland is not going to have the same success ultimately that they had last year. But for right now, I've got him at 16. At 15, I've got the Titans' opponent on Sunday, the Chicago Bears. The Bears have a lot of talent. There's a lot of potential. Caleb Williams, I think, is being set up to fail because the media is gushing over him so much that how could he possibly live up? But I can't deny they've got a lot of talent. There's a lot of potential for good things to happen there. At 14, I've got the Dallas Cowboys, and I even wrestled with this because I think the Cowboys are not going to be too good this year. But for the simple fact that they've got some certainty at quarterback with Dak Prescott, they've got one of the best receivers in CeeDee Lamb. I do understand they have guys like Micah Parsons on defense. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, even though I do not have the Cowboys making the playoffs ultimately this year. At this point, I am fine putting them at 14. At number 13, I've got the Jets, Jets, Jets. I am not as high on the Jets as everybody else is. I'm very skeptical of Aaron Rodgers coming off the injury with his age, but I will give respect because it is Aaron Rodgers and we know how good he's been in his career. He's been one of the best, so I'll put them at 13. At number 12, I've got the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons should win this division. They should absolutely be the best team in this division by far. And not just, I don't just want to put them there just because they're in a bad division. I mean, on paper, they've got a good team. They've got a good defense that they improved a couple of weeks ago with Judon and Justin Simmons. Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. They've got good young talent in Bijan Robinson and Drake London. The Falcons should be a really good team. At number 11, I've got the Buffalo Bills, just missing out on the top 10. Josh Allen, obviously one of the best. I still think they are taking a step back this year just because without Diggs and Davis, I don't know. Maybe Josh Allen's good enough to bring those guys to another level, but this is going to be where you really find out how good of a quarterback he is and how good of a coach Sean McDermott is. Let's get into the top 10 very quickly, team by team. At number 10, I've got the Miami Dolphins. People are skeptical on the Dolphins because they're skeptical on Tua. They're skeptical with how things ended last year. For me, I just remember that the Dolphins put up over 70 points in a game at one point last year, and especially early on. The Dolphins always start the season strong, so they belong in the top 10, in my opinion. At number 9, Houston Texans. As bad as I hate to do it, I'm putting the Texans in the top 10. On paper, they should be great with Stroud and all of the receivers they have and all of the weapons they've added on defense. Danielle Hunter, one of the more underrated signings of the offseason. The Texans should be great. There's still potential for that sophomore slump, and I will say it over and over again. At number 8, how about the Green Bay Packers? A lot of people high on the Packers based on how the season ended for them. Can they carry that momentum over? Can Jordan Love be as good as the paycheck that he got this offseason? We'll see. They play tonight, so we will see what the season holds for the Packers because they are playing the team that I've got at number 7, and that is the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles had a meltdown last year. A lot of people are skeptical about them. I feel like the Eagles will rebound, not because Nick Sirianni's that great of a coach, just because they've got a lot of talent. At number 6, I've got the Ravens. I know they lost last night. I know a lot of people are saying, how could you have the Ravens that high when they lost? I'm not going to overreact to the loss because they're the only team we've seen lose. There's going to be other teams that look worse than them losing this weekend. You can rest assured of that. I hope the Titans aren't one of them. I still think the Ravens, I believe they can figure out maybe how to use Henry properly in some form, and maybe just the run game with him and Lamar can be enough to help them stay a top 10 team. Number 5, I've got the Rams. I just when I look at teams in the league that I believe in, the Rams are toward the top. I believe in McVay. I believe in Stafford. I believe in Cooper Kupp. I believe in Puka Nacua. And I think that they're going to be able to really give the 49ers trouble in that division, and they are a sneaky, sneaky team in the NFC. Number 4, I've got the Cincinnati Bengals, although I'm starting to have questions because Jamar Chase is just not practicing a whole lot. He seems to have an attitude problem right now because he wants to get paid. T. Higgins is hurt. Can they keep Joe Burrow healthy? There are a lot of questions surrounding this Bengals team, but for right now, they're a top 5 team, and if they stay healthy, I think after last night, they are undoubtedly better than the Ravens. Number 3, I've got the Detroit Lions. This is the team that I think is going to win the whole thing this year. I got them winning the Super Bowl. Got the Lions at 3. I have no reason not to believe in the Lions. The only concern I have for them is that Dan Campbell could be too aggressive, but I like everything the Lions have going for them. At number 2, I've got the Kansas City Chiefs after the win last night. I mean, they don't even Rashee Rice, Mahomes has got him looking like freaking Jerry Rice out there, and the Ravens apparently had no interest in covering that little slant that Mahomes kept throwing to him last night. Kelsey didn't even hardly do anything last night, and they still beat up on the Ravens 27-20. The Chiefs are the team to beat, but at number one, I've got the 49ers. They've worked everything out with Ayuk. They've worked everything out with Trent Williams. They've got all their guys back. The 49ers on paper continue to have one of the best rosters in the NFL, and they are going to be hard to stop, and they might be the team to beat in the NFC. Probably are. So, that is my first 32-1 power rankings. We do that every single Friday during the season. And last but not least, it is time to pick some games. It is week one picks for the weekend. I can't believe it's time, guys. I can't believe we made it. Like, we freaking made it. We're here. Let's start with the Packers-Eagles. They play tonight in Brazil. And I wonder how the travel is going to affect both teams. Ultimately, I'm going to go with the Eagles. I think the Packers are too obvious. Everybody's picking the Packers. Everybody's high on the Packers. Everybody's got questions about the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to come in with a little bigger chip on their shoulder because they ended last season with no momentum. I got the Eagles beating the Packers tonight. Now we move on to Sunday. The Cardinals and the Bills. Tough game to start for an Arizona team that's going to have to find their way along the season. I got the Bills winning this one by a couple of touchdowns, maybe by 10 or 14 points. Patriots, Bengals. I mean, for all of the questions the Bengals have, that's a good one to start the season with. That's a good opponent to start things with. It's in Cincinnati. I think this may be the most lopsided game of the week. I got the Bengals beating the Patriots soundly. Vikings, Giants. I'm going with the Vikings. I just, even though, as crazy as it is, I think I believe in Sam Darnold more than I believe in Daniel Jones. I know that's crazy, but I think the Giants are going to have a tough go of it with Daniel Jones. And I got the Vikings, with all they've gone through, all of the turmoil that they have gone through this preseason. I think they're going to use it to go toward a week one win. Panthers, Saints, an old NFC South game. Two teams that are just really need to be in rebuild mode. I'm gonna go with the Saints just because in week one I would say that I trust, and the Panthers have a new coach too. I trust Derrick Carr more than Bryce Young at this point, so I'll go with the Saints at home. Steelers, Falcons. I'm going to go with the Falcons. The Falcons should win that one. I mean, the Steelers, they've got a lot of questions right now. Obviously, the quarterback position is still a question because Russell Wilson's hurt. But, I mean, you look at these two rosters. The Falcons, they should beat Pittsburgh at home. Week one, I mean, that's a favorable matchup for Atlanta to start the season. I got the Falcons over the Steelers. Jags, Dolphins. I'm not even saying it because I'm a Titans guy. I have no doubt the Dolphins are winning that game. I think that the Dolphins always start the year strong, especially. Like, they are always that team that starts off. Oh, man, we got a Jaguar fan that just joined the chat right when I'm talking about that game. Good to see you. He has kind things to say. He said, love your passion with the Titans. I'm a Jaguar fan. I listen to you for the best updates on your team. Thank you very much. I got the Dolphins beating the Jaguars on that note. I just think the Dolphins always start the year 5-0, 6-0. They always start the year strong, and then it tampers off at the end. So I got the Dolphins winning this one. It's in Miami. Not that Jacksonville has trouble playing in nice, warm weather. I mean, they're in Jacksonville. But I got the Dolphins winning this one. Texans, Colts in Indianapolis. I have absolutely got the Houston Texans winning this game. I think that C.J. Stroud is going to pick that young secondary apart. And I think that Danielle Hunter and that front for Houston is going to feast on Anthony Richardson in this game. Raiders, Chargers. Beginning of the Jim Harbaugh era, I've got the Chargers winning this one. They should beat the Raiders. I mean, Justin Herbert alone should be enough to lift the Chargers over the Raiders, especially at home. Even though LA, they don't have a great home field advantage because they don't have a very devoted fan base. Broncos, Seahawks, the beginning of the Bo Nix era. I'm going to go with the Seahawks just because I do believe Mike McDonald's defense, which I do believe will be scrappy and gritty, going up against a rookie in Bo Nix that doesn't have a lot of talent around him in Seattle, which is always going to be a tough place to play. I got the Seahawks over the Broncos. Cowboys, Browns. You know, I'm going to go with Cleveland. I'm going to go with Cleveland. I think you have to account for how good the Browns defense was last year. I think the Cowboys are going to be worse than they have been. I think the Browns beat the Cowboys. It's in Cleveland. I feel like I'm picking a lot of home teams here, but I'm gonna go with the Browns in this one. Commanders, Bucks in Tampa Bay. I'm going to go with the Commanders. I'm going to go Washington over Tampa Bay. I think that Jaden Daniels, you always have that rookie quarterback who comes onto the scene week one. You remember Marcus Mariota against Tampa Bay in his first game where he went off. You always have a rookie quarterback that does that, and I choose to believe that it's not going to be Caleb Williams. I think it's not going to be Bo Nix against Seattle. I'm going to say it's Jaden Daniels. I'm going to say Jaden Daniels beats Tampa Bay. I think he has a good performance that excites people, and I got Washington beating Tampa Bay. Rams, Lions, Stafford coming home. This is Sunday Night Football. I think this is going to be close. I'm going with Detroit. I think that fan base is going to be going nuts. Ready to pick up where they left off last year. They got the NFC title game. I've got the Lions beating the Rams in a close one on Sunday Night Football. Monday Night Football, it's the Jets and the 49ers. I'm absolutely going with the 49ers. I think that's a tough first game for a Jets team that I just don't know about Aaron Rodgers this year, So I'm going with the 49ers at home to win. And let's close it out with the Bears and the Titans. All right. We've waited, and now it's time. The Bears, I expect, are going to be good overall this year. I completely understand the talent they have. I completely understand the lineup of receivers they have. A lot of question marks for Tennessee. Do you remember 2019? Week 1, Titans, Browns in Cleveland. You remember how excited everyone was about Cleveland that year? Everybody was already crowning them champions of the world. And they were playing the Titans week 1 at home. And it was just like, oh man, that's going to be great. They're going to beat up on the Titans and we're all going to be excited. And Titans came in and slaughtered the Browns week 1. The Titans are always that team that you look at and you say, oh man, Caleb Williams is going to have a great week 1 performance. He's playing the Titans. He's going to just whoop up on them, and he's going to start his career with a bang. It's going to be like Christmas. Well, guess what, guys? The Tennessee Titans are the Grinch. The Tennessee Titans are the Grinch that stole Christmas. Oh, Caleb Williams, it's going to be so fun starting his career. Oh, he's just going to come out there and that stadium's going to be on fire and everybody's going to be so happy and they're probably just going to join hands and sway back and forth and sing, Ahures, Nahudores. They're all just going to have a good time. They might put up 50. Oh, that's just going to be so great. And then we're going to come on Monday on all of our shows and we're just going to gush over how great Caleb Williams and the Bears were. Well, the Grinch is coming to town to ruin it for you because the Titans are coming to town. They're going to come in and in old school Vrabel style, they're going to drag you down into the mud. They're going to blitz like crazy to where Caleb Williams is going to be like, oh yeah, I'm a rookie. I've never played in an NFL game before. Crap, this is different than the preseason. I'm not at USC anymore. Better go. Never mind. I'm not going to take a cheap shot. I'm not going to do it. I picked the Titans. I picked the Titans to beat the Bears 20-17. 20-17. I'm going to say they blitz the crap out of Caleb Williams, make him uncomfortable. Pollard and Spears both get a ton of carries. They put Will Levis in position to get some easy throws, similar to kind of what we saw in that drive against the Saints in the preseason game. Little dinks and dunks. Maybe designed plays to get the ball to Okonkwo on a screen or maybe quick slants to Ridley and Boyd and things like that. And I think that the Titans are going to churn and churn and churn. And at the end of the day, there are going to be a lot of Bears fans walking to their cars sad and alone because Caleb Williams was supposed to usher in Christmas Day for them. And the Grinch came in and stole it. What's going to happen on Sunday? The Grinch that stole week 1 from Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. Let's hope. That's it for episode 100. I will see you Monday to recap whatever the heck happens on Sunday. I hope it's a victory Monday, but time will tell. Thank you for tuning in. Everybody go like and subscribe to the Two Tone Talk channel. You can listen on Spotify and SoundCloud as well. God bless you guys. Happy week 1. Football is here. This is the Two Tone Talk by God pod. Staying way too high on the wins, staying way too low on the losses. God bless you, everybody. Bye.